But globally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
Okay.
had 3 million hacks, and it takes less than a second to find it.
Wow.
In fact, all of these on this list are less than 1 second
Wow.
to find it. And then a different other, longer runs of the numbers. 1 through 9, 1 through 8, those are on the top list. Password is fourth globally.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Mm-hmm. QWERTY 1, 2, 3 is fifth.
Okay.
And QWERTY 1 is sixth. But the 3 million, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, drops to 1,000,006 for the next password. So the 3 million, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is twice as many times stolen as the rest of these. Now, here's the thing. They've done this study for 6 years. They've published these results for 6 years. That is still the number one password. So
That's
nobody's
crazy.
paying attention here. And we know it.
That's
because
crazy.
This is changing your password, or actually accepting the fact that passwords are a real thing, is the thing we don't do until it happens to us.
Yeah.
Like, we're never the one to get hacked. 3 million people are getting hacked. And more than that, this is... Hey, welcome back to the Cash Flow Podcast with me, Pam Pryor. Glad to have you here, where we talk about everything money related in your business. So without further ado, let's hop right in. Hey, I'm Pam Pryor, and welcome back to the Cash Flow Podcast. As we are rolling into Thanksgiving, there is tons of news to cover in our news segment. We're going to talk particularly about a favorite of mine, Bitcoin, but in a little bit of a different context. And for the beer, we're doing one of Francis's favorites, which is not necessarily high on my list, but I don't hate it. So stay tuned to see that surprise. And then finally, in the actual cash flow section, where we're going to talk to you about cash flow stuff, we're actually going to talk about security today. Some interesting news about common passwords that are breached and broken very quickly. So it will help you make sure that your password situation is in good shape. So stay tuned. We're going to hop right in and talk about the news. So my favorite friend Bitcoin hit $98,000 on the day that we're recording this. And of course, we're all wondering, is it going to hit 100 grand? And so I wanted to share a little bit about kind of what's going on in the news here, and in addition, talk about what that really means. What is Bitcoin, and the fact that it's, going to hit $100,000 per Bitcoin when it started at, well, it started at zero, but it hovered down at $1,000 for a long time before it took its ride. Well, here's the thing. People who own Bitcoin right now own almost $2 trillion of value. So that's what we call a $2 trillion market cap. And that is nothing to sneeze at. And what I want to give you to think about here is how big that market cap is, because a trillion is a crazy number to think about. It's 1,000 billions, and a billion is 1,000 millions, and a million is 1,000 thousands. So you'd have to spend 1,000 thousands to get to 1 trillion. And so if you look at the whole Bitcoin market, that's how much has been invested in Bitcoin right now, $2 trillion. So let's talk about global economies. And the way global economies are measured is by what they call GDP, which is gross domestic product, which is, in short, how much the country produces in value, in dollars of product. And just to put it in perspective, I'm going to give it to you in order from the top down, and you'll see where Bitcoin fits in here. The U.S. is a little over 25 trillion. China, almost 15 trillion. Then it drops way far down to Japan at 4 trillion, Germany at 4 trillion, India at 3, the UK at 3, I'm rounding, France at 2.5, Russia at 2.25, Canada at 2 and 2.1 million. So now Bitcoin slices right in there, because Canada, it's trillion, I'm sorry, I said billion, I meant trillion. So Canada's at 2 trillion, Brazil's a little under 2 trillion, Australia's under 2 trillion, South Korea, Mexico, and Spain. So you can see that Bitcoin's value, market cap, drops in number 11 in the total world economy relative, when you compare its market cap to countries' GDP. So this is a lot of money. I just thought it was interesting to share that, and I'll be watching today to see if that hits $100,000. Now, jump into the serious stuff. It's time to taste the beer, which I'm not going to tell you till we get there because I didn't pick it. So I did not pick today's beer.
No.
Our friend Francis picked today's beer, and it's Guinness Draught.
Yes.
Which I can't complain about, right? So first of all, I've been to the Guinness brewery in Ireland.
Which I'm so jealous of.
It's amazing. The coolest thing is you go from the bottom up tour, and you see it all. It's very touristy, but you still get to really see it. And I don't know, I guess they're actually brewing in there, but they have a main brewery kind of behind.
That's like probably tucked away.
And then you get to the top, they pour your pint, and it's windows around, and you kind of see out over Dublin, which is really cool.
Wow.
But there's some neat things about Guinness, which I've just learned because, of course, we study up on this before we do the podcast. So, first of all, back in 1759, a gentleman by the name of Arthur Guinness decided he was going to lease a brewery or land to build his brewery. How long do you think the lease was for?
4 years?
9,000 years.
9,000?
And as they say here, if that's not belief, we don't know what is. He clearly, and they have a copy of the lease, and they have it at the. I remember this now when I was looking at the notes. They have it at Guinness.
I didn't know you could get a lease for 9,000 years.
You could in 1759.
Okay.
So in the year 1759, they'll have to renegotiate.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. So anyway. The other thing that's kind of cool is, you know how the harp is the symbol?
Yeah.
The harp, actually, everybody thinks it's Ireland's symbol, which it is. However, he had first dibs on it. He wanted something that they could associate with the beer that celebrated Ireland, and he decided that the harp was really representative of Ireland. Now, why, it doesn't say too much, but it represented their culture and heritage, it said. I don't know if there were a lot of harpists. We'll have to figure that out.
I never realized it was a harp.
But... so when Ireland decided that, yeah, that's a good symbol and we have to use it, they had to turn theirs to face the other way because Guinness had trademarked this one.
Wow.
So another cool little tip about Guinness.
Arthur Guinness is a forward thinker.
A real forward thinker. So I'm really excited. There's a really good layout of the story here on the Guinness website. So I suggest if you like it, you look at it because that's just two of the little stories inside it, the ones that I kind of thought were the most interesting.
Yeah.
But the draft itself, they call it the black stuff. And it's generally what you think of, as we all know, when you say, hey, give me a pint.
Yeah.
They're thinking about this draft. It's a dark beer. In my mind, I haven't had one since I was in Ireland, but if I remember correctly, it tastes like coffee to me.
Okay.
Coffee with fizz. But we'll see, because we all know that I'm an IPA lover with all the hops, and this is the opposite of hops. So basically what it says is the aroma has hints of roasted coffee and chocolate.
Okay.
And appearance is really dark ruby red with a creamy head, and it's smoothly balanced with bitter, sweet, and roasted notes. Nothing kind of spicy, but it does have some hops in it. The alcohol content surprises a lot of people is really low. It's 4.2%.
Yeah. That's probably why I like them so much.
Yeah, there you go. And calories are relatively low at 125.
Yeah.
So this is a great little beer. And they say, we won't lie, it took a long while to craft this beer, and that's why they're so passionate about it. And then they're saying that you could never replicate the Guinness Draught experience in a can, but they say that's where you're wrong. Poured correctly, and the pressure's going to be on you, dude. Poured correctly, and the result is a perfectly smooth beer that's unmistakably Guinness. Our global head of quality, Steve Galsenan, has honed the craft so you can enjoy some great tasting from the comfort of your home. And there's a video, which we should probably pause and watch, don't you think?
I think we should watch it.
Okay. So, well, maybe we can't. Classic pour. Oh, it's actually walking you through it. To achieve the classic pour, get yourself a clean pint glass and hold it at a 45-degree angle. Begin to slowly pour the draft in a can off the side of the glass. As it fills, slowly tilt your glass upward till it's vertical. So it's like the way you pour a beer. To
Nothing
achieve,
special
but
here,
wait,
Guinness.
but wait, oh wait. There's the That's the classic pour.
Oh, okay.
There's the hard pour. Going to challenge you to do the hard pour.
Okay.
To achieve the hard pour, open your Guinness Draught in a can and wait for that unmistakable hiss. Very quickly, turn the can 180 degrees upside down and pour vertically into a clean pint glass. Take the can out of the glass slowly until all the liquid has been dispensed and then let it settle.
So fully upside down.
Like you literally it in the glass and lift it up and you take it out slowly until all the liquid's out of it.
Interesting.
And I want to do that. And then we're just going to have to sip out of the same glass.
That's fine.
All right. I'm not sick. Are you sick?
You? No.
Do you get the idea, like what he's doing?
Yeah. Do you want to try it?
I think you should one of us to try it.
Should we do rock, paper, scissors, shoot?
Yes.
Okay.
One or how many are we doing?
That's 2 out of 3.
And do you shoot on?
I do rock, paper, scissors, and then shoot.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ooh.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ah, you got it.
I won.
You got 1. So we're doing 2
out of 3. Oh, we're doing 2 out of 3. Yeah. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
All right. We're tied up.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yes. That means you pour.
No! Yeah. That's not how we did this.
Yeah.
Ah, that's so funny. I was thinking about it exactly the opposite way around. If I win, I pour. That's funny. Okay. All right.
Well,
Deb is going to kill me if this fails.
I'm thinking that this, you know what I mean?
Deb will kill me if this fails.
I'm looking around here. We're gonna do it over the basket.
We're gonna do it over the. Hey, Deb, we're gonna do it over this. Diego's like, what the? All right.
What the fuck is happening?
Go. I can do this.
I have faith in you.
I have faith in me.
I had less faith in myself than I did in you. That's why I am having you pour.
And this is a pint glass, so this should work.
I'm getting ready. Just
it worked.
Oh, okay.
That was cool. That was
cool.
Fun. And I never knew that.
I didn't
And
either.
I've been to the Guinness factory. Look at that. It's doing exactly what you want it to do.
Wow.
I love watching these. That is fun. Like, you don't get beers that do that.
I love the color of Guinness.
Look at that. That was fun. That was fun. All right, because it's your pick, you're the first sip.
Okay. Should I pour
I'm
it
so
into
proud
one
of myself.
Here?
Yeah, there you go. You can do the traditional pour.
Ooh.
There we go. That's fine. All right.
All right.
You have to wait. We'll have to wait a second for yours to settle.
It's okay. It's coming.
She just dusted this morning, too. That was fun. Didn't even need the basket.
That was a good pour.
Very proud of myself.
Cheers.
Okay. Cheers.
It smells like Guinness.
It does smell like Guinness. What is that smell?
Malty, like caramely.
Yeah, caramel. That's what it is. Because it's not chocolate and it's not coffee that I smell. It's like, it smells like like a brewery.
Yeah.
What it smells like. It smells great. All right, here we go. I will tell you what the hard pour does.
What does it do?
Makes it flat.
Yeah? I feel like this is how
that's
Guinness
normal.
Always tastes
Oh, maybe maybe that's my problem.
It's less flat. It's less
fizzy.
Yeah. Guinness isn't really a super fizzy in your face beer.
Got it.
So feedback that I've heard about Guinness, one of my friends is convinced that it tastes like soy sauce, and she always gives me shit for drinking Guinness. I don't think it tastes like soy sauce.
It's not soy sauce. No, Wen, you want to sip? We got to get the win. We got to get the win
stamp.
Yep. Poor Wen never thought they'd be tasting beers for a living. I think there might be like something you can file with the Human Rights Commission or the Workers' Rights Commission.
No, you don't like it?
That is rancid.
I mean, I finished mine already.
Soy sauce.
Really?
You should have gotten the big one for this. To me, it's ho hum. Like, it's
you don't like it?
It's not terrible. I would not order it. It's going to be on the P.B.K.P.I. It's going to be a 2 for me.
A 2? Why?
Because I would never like ask for it.
Okay.
Ever. If it were the only beer in the joint, like it was at Guinness, I'll drink one.
Okay.
And it's not awful. Like, it's not like, maybe it's a 3. Maybe I'll say 3. It's not awful.
Guinness is a 4 for me. Solid.
Yeah. No. It's like I drink it and I think, oh God, the tap's broken. Because think about it, my favorite beer, the reason I like it is it's so fizzy.
Punchy and in your face, yeah.
And it's got tons of carbonation. I like my water really carbonated. I think since I gave up Coke. Here's what it is. It looks like
Coke, and you expect it to be Coke.
I bet you I do psychologically. I'm pissed off.
In your brain.
My subconscious is like, screw that shit. That looks like Coke. And it's not as fizzy as Coke, and it doesn't taste like Coke.
There is really no relation to Coke.
No. Except the appearance. That looks like a glass of Coke would look.
It looks like that or Nitro Brew. Like
and I used to drink
coffee.
Yeah, but I had Coke first, right?
Yeah.
So I used to drink Coke like this. Get it out of the can, pour it cold, always ice cold in a glass, no ice.
Yeah.
So that looks like my addiction right there.
So you can't psychologically make it.
I honestly believe that subconsciously I'm pissed. Anyway, interesting.
I like it. What would you pair this with? Remember we had started adding
a Diet Coke. I would pair it with, God, I don't know. What would you pair it with? Give me an idea.
Something like fried and greasy.
Something that has a lot of taste.
Yeah, like I feel like...
Because this doesn't.
I feel like normally when I'm drinking Guinness, it's on a Sunday with the football game on.
Oh, like wings and
fries.
Stuff like that.
I had it last week, and we ordered from this place near us that does like really good onion rings. Those really went well with that.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Something that really gives you... The fried thing helps because it replaces the fizz component.
I think it would pair well with something sweet. Like...
cake?
I could do it like a float with Guinness. No?
I can see what you're saying.
I could do a float
like maybe
with
put an
Guinness.
ice cream thing on it.
Yeah, like a scoop of ice cream
that might make it a little less offensive. Like almost cream it up like you would coffee.
Yeah.
There you go. I have to agree. So good pick. I'm glad we did it. Guinness is a great beer. I mean, worldwide.
I love Guinness. Yeah.
I would not be surprised if this isn't one of the most popular beers in the world.
I feel like it's pretty popular, but maybe it's more like European. So here's a question for you.
That's true.
Do you remember liking Guinness more there, or you know what I mean? Because I feel like what I hear all the time is, it's not
different
the same
there.
as
I honestly can't tell you if it's different. Like I'm not that aware of it. Yeah, of this. I'm sure it's true because I know it's true with German beers. That I've seen.
Yeah.
Like you have a Pilsner here, it's a Pilsner. Even if it's German imported Pilsner, you go over there, you sit down at a Hofbrauhaus and order a beer. It's a whole different experience. I love a Pilsner sitting down in a restaurant where they're filling it up and bringing me Wiener Schnitzel. That's like, that's my heaven. Remember you asked the question, what's your heaven?
Yeah.
Wiener Schnitzel, in a Hofbrauhaus, Wiener Schnitzel with noodles and Pilsner.
Okay. That sounds like a good heaven. That sounds
and
like
they just
heaven.
kept bringing more. You just keep going, noch eine bitte, noch eine bitte.
No more.
One more. Noch means give one more, please. Noch eine bitte. They just keep bringing it. And they're not huge glasses. They serve it in smaller glasses, but they just keep filling them up.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's...
Is it all you can drink?
No, you pay for each one. They keep track. And interestingly, they usually keep track right on your coaster.
Oh, really?
Like, so they have... Their coasters are light color coasters, and they just keep adding it up on your coaster. Yeah. So
it's kind of like dim sum. Have you ever had dim sum?
I don't think so.
Dim sum, you go, and there's a couple different forms of dim sum, but like there's one where they just come around with a cart of food, and you pick off of the cart every time they come around because it's like top small plates.
Okay, yep.
But then there's another where you like get a sheet and you just check off what you want, and then you leave it, or you give it to your waiter, and then they come back with
whatever you ordered. Yeah. And do you get more? You can get more
if you want.
You want.
Okay. Check more off on the box, and then that's like your receipt.
Yeah, it's a similar thing. This is the thing they pay from.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool. At least they did last time I went to Germany, which was a long time ago, but longer than I realized.
They do. Guinness has a nitro brewed cold brew coffee that's like alcoholic. I want to try that. I just haven't.
A coffee with alcohol.
Yeah, it's like it's a Guinness coffee.
Oh, that's interesting because that's what this is to me.
I feel like that would be. I feel like you would
coffee.
Like that more.
Do you think they drink it room temperature? I can't remember whether they actually drink it cold there or if it's one of the room temperature beers.
I don't know.
I know in England they do a lot of their stuff room temperature.
It just says best enjoyed poured into a glass. I normally drink it cold.
Yeah, me too. I've never liked the warm beer philosophy.
No, Kaya likes normal or not normal. Kaya likes what's it called?
Room temperature.
Yeah, she says that's like the way that you're supposed to.
The drafts.
With like she gets sometimes like the hoppier stuff, and she just drinks them like
like room temperature.
She'll drink them that way. We'll
What's
throw them
wrong
in the
with that
fridge
girl?
too, but she likes them.
Interesting. Well, cheers. Cheers to you. I'm glad we
Cheers to
tried this.
Guinness.
We'll have to go back to a hoppy beer next week.
Mm-hmm.
And on we go.
On we
So,
go.
today, I want to talk about security because we've talked about fraud. We've talked about the fact that checks are the most often ripped off things in the world.
Yeah.
The other thing that I hate, that everybody hates, that every entrepreneur hates is passwords.
Yeah.
But let's talk about it.
Okay.
Because, and stick with me, because I just want to make a couple of points to you and tell you that I've transformed.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing because I was the biggest hater of passwords and the person who used the same password for everything until recently. And
what was that password?
Yeah. Yes. So one of the things that has been published by a company called NordPass, which is actually what I use for my VPN line, is they talk about what are the top 200 most common passwords that have been ripped off. I'm going to do the very tacky thing and clean my glasses right here with a sweater, which never works, but I can't see.
I feel like sweaters just smudge.
Yeah, it kind of did, but it's not awful. So what do you think globally? Oh, I already told you. Might not have been listening. Globally, what the most stolen password is. So what these guys did, just to give you some context, they dove into all the data that has been stolen and found which passwords were hacked, how long it took to hack them, and how many there were in their database count. And they did it worldwide, and they also did it by country. And the interesting thing about this is we now know which are the passwords most easiest to hack. And what does that mean? That means that if somebody's putting a computer chip on your thing, they've got your email address, and they're trying to figure out your password, they run a program to do it. And these are the ones that before they even start trying to decode it, they guess these 200 passwords first.
Password?
No.
Password isn't on this list?
It's on the list.
Oh, okay.
But it's not the top one.
I feel like
for the
password, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. QWERTY.
Yep.
What's the other ones?
You're pretty good.
Yeah, ASD. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a sample of them. Just listen to this sample. If one of these is your password, just change it.
Yeah,
and we'll also talk about some other things you could do to protect yourself. But globally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 had 3 million hacks, and it takes less than a second to find it.
Wow.
In fact, all of these on this list are less than 1 second.
Wow.
To find it. And then a different other, longer runs of the numbers. 1 through 9, 1 through 8, those are on the top list. Password is fourth globally.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Mm-hmm. QWERTY 1, 2, 3 is fifth.
Okay.
And QWERTY 1 is sixth. But the 3 million, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, drops to 1,000,006 for the next password. So the 3 million, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is twice as many times stolen as the rest of these. Now, here's the thing. They've done this study for 6 years. They've published these results for 6 years. That is still the number one password. So nobody's paying attention here, and we know it.
That's crazy.
This is changing your password, or actually accepting the fact that passwords are a real thing, is the thing we don't do until it happens to us.
Yeah.
Like, we're never the one to get hacked. 3 million people are getting hacked. And more than that, this is just a sample database. So I can promise you your data has been leaked, whether you've done this password or not. You're in a leaked database somewhere if you're on the internet. It's just how it works.
Yeah.
But there are some really good things you can do to help minimize your chances. Like, there are people that use this password who, it's like leaving your door unlocked and your window's open. Yeah. Like, if somebody's coming around and got to break in, and the keys in the car, somebody's going to come around and break in. Like, that's going to be no dogs. That's going to be the house. But yet, if you got a security system and dogs, and you've locked the doors, and you've shut down the car and closed the garage, they're just not going to go at it as quickly. It's just like, well, that's going to be a little work. Mm-hmm. It's not that you're not vulnerable, but somebody has to work really hard to break it. And so thieves are generally trying to get the most for the littlest effort. That's the whole point of thievery, right? So, this is the thing. So the other ones that are big are 11111.
Okay, that makes
sense. Secret. All zeros. ABC 123. Oddly, coming in 20th and 21st, dragon and monkey.
Why dragon and
I'm going to
monkey?
look and see if they're higher up on the list in China, because those are the
Like the
Chinese
symbol,
years, right?
yeah.
So we're going to check that. Tinkle. And for some reason, although it must be a series of letters, ZAG12WSX.
ZAG. I wonder if on a keyboard.
It's it's ZA. Yeah, it might be.
I'm not going to be able to do that in my head.
ZAQ.
Well, I have a quickboard. I have a keyboard here.
ZAQ WSX, because then it's right next to each other.
That is right. But what happens if you go up and down the keyboard? Like down a row. What's down below Z? Z, A.
That's the end.
No, but like Z is in the top left, right?
Bottom left.
Bottom left. A is right above it.
Yeah, and then Q. And then
Q. Okay, yeah, who knows?
People are crazy.
There's some other strange ones too. But this one took 3. All right. Oh, ZAG12 WSX, for the record, took an hour to hack.
Hour.
Tinkle took 2 minutes. And then some more of these that, like Gwerty. Oh, they're using a Q instead of a G, or G instead of a Q to be clever. But they got it at 3 hours. 666 was less than a second.
That's
So those are fun. But in the U.S., that's the global list, right? If you look at just in the United States, the highest was secret.
secret.
Yep, and it's less
Interesting.
than 1 second, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then password. Those are the top 3. Password 1 is a big deal. I love you is 1. Baseball in the U.S., princess and football, monkey and sunshine
Man.
come in the top 20. Now I want to check China to see if those. No, they're not on China's. China's are mostly numbers.
Bad passwords.
Yeah.
These are horrible.
These are horrible. So, what can you do? Well, there are a few things you can do. And, this is one of those problems when somebody solves it, like we have a chip in our head and all we have to do is walk by the machine and boom, it has our automatic recognition. Great. But until then, there are a few things to do. And I'll tell you, I hated this until we got something called Bitwarden.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not advertising for Bitwarden, but our tech guys who are amazing, I am advertising for them, but they don't pay me. Easy IT Solutions, Travis Barker's company, is our IT support, and they put Bitwarden on our machines. And Bitwarden's great because you create a little Chrome extension or Edge extension or Safari extension.
Yeah.
And literally when you open the page, for most passwords, you open the page up, Bitwarden finds that password, you just single click on it and boom, it populates and you're done. Every now and then you have to copy and paste it in. And it also generates strong passwords, and I can share them with whom I want to share them across my team.
Also,
so
authenticator.
And it has the authenticator on it, so it can do second level verification.
Like that, yeah. And
it's easy to use, and you have to get used to it. Like you got to get over the learning curve.
Yeah.
But once it's set up, it's easy to use, and anybody can get it. Like we have it through Easy IT, but you can get Bitwarden yourself, add it, use it, and it keeps all your passwords. You can also keep notes, credit card information, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So to Wen's point, anything you put on your computer, you're like, it's at risk, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're playing in the crypto world, you want to have a hard wallet that has no computer interface and all sorts of things like that. But if you're going to be working in the world of computers, which to survive now mostly you have to, having one of these tools is important. Do not get LastPass.
Yeah.
LastPass has been breached.
They got hacked, right?
LastPass has been breached so many times. It's not even funny. Like when my clients tell me they have LastPass, I'm like, sorry, I won't share it. I won't use it. And I'll get it and have it put it on Bitwarden myself. 1Password's okay, and they haven't been breached.
Yeah, I've used 1Pass.
But NordPass and Bitwarden are the two that I think are the most secure and do it so that it's really user-friendly. Like they've taken the lead on making it easy. So one of the things, of course, to protect yourself is strong password. Generate a strong password. Yes, it's all garbage, but technically you'll never need to type it in anywhere because you can put it on your phone too, right? So you have the extension on your phone. The second thing is now the passkeys are becoming a thing.
Yeah, I keep seeing those everywhere.
Yeah, so the same way that you can have your face, like if you have a password saved on your iPhone, you can use your face. Now there are other ways to do passkeys, which is fun, so you don't have to remember anything. And the fundamentals: create strong passwords, review your passwords. take a look, and there are tools that'll help you do this so you can see what's weak, what's old, what's out there on the internet already and been used, what people already know. Never reuse passwords. We know all this. We've heard all this, right? Use a password manager. Those are the things.
Yeah, it's crazy to think though that like you're never supposed to reuse a password, and how many things I log into just on a daily basis, and I should never use it. All my this is not the best practice, but like 3 or 4 of the things I log into every day have the same.
Mine too.
You know what I mean?
In fact, this is reminding me I need to go fix that.
Yeah.
When in fact I did it for all of my banking stuff already.
Yeah, banking stuff is different.
Because guess what? If you have a bank account, you are going to be hacked sometime. Yeah. There's no escaping it. Yeah. You can make it really easy, or you can make it really hard. And I think the reality is, it's one of those things like anything preventative. We all put it off, and it's insurance, right? Yeah. We don't pay the insurance, and we're like, okay, we'll get away with it. We'll get away with it, and you get hit by a car. You're like, crap. And this all crap can be like, people can steal your identity, and getting your identity back. All I had was one tiny little thing stolen for me, and they got basically my social security number, a tiny little thing. And it took me to get everything sorted out 3 years.
Wow.
Of my life. And it probably cost me, it was all credit card stuff, so I got all that back from the credit card companies because I caught it soon enough. But if I hadn't, I'd have lost it. But then I had to pay tons of money just to get records changed and things fixed finally, and bills to stop coming. Yeah. So I don't know. You make a commitment to get your passwords.
I will. I will not make a commitment to remembering the new passwords though, because
don't have to. That's what Bitwarden's for.
I still feel like half of the time I change the passwords, and then I'm like, oh shit, what did I change it to? Because it's like one letter or a number, and then with us it's like we do uppercase, lowercase, symbol, number.
And if you're like me, you're moving quickly, and you're like, oh, I'll remember that.
Yeah, and then you don't. Immediately after.
So I now literally like make it muscle memory to any time I create an ID and a password, I put it in Bitwarden. I take that extra 5 seconds to just get it into Bitwarden, because once that's done, oh my God, it takes so much work off. Because when you don't, you literally spend 15, 20 minutes trying to figure it out. Yeah. Reset, email, text on your phone.
Anymore, I'm bad. Anymore, I try 3 times, and then after that, I'm like, I'm resetting it.
And then you have to go through
and then
that
I have to remember it, yeah.
But it takes you 5 minutes to do something that could take you 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And you're more well protected. So it's one of those things like anything. Like, I should run every morning or walk every morning. Do I do it? No.
But security is such an important part of what we do.
Right.
Making sure that, our systems are secure.
We absolutely have to.
Software is everything. It's so important.
We've got people's financial information, access to people's financial information, and that's why I have a VPN, which is a little, even a higher level up, and then nobody's passwords are ever written down anywhere.
Yeah. Certainly
nobody's social security numbers, any of that stuff. There's a real, and our insurance insists on it too. Yeah. So, as it should. So that's a pretty important thing, I think, for us to think about in the partnerships too.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
We should have, IT security requirements for anybody using, or working.
Personal computers.
Yeah. Here's what you have to do if you're interacting by email with us.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
It is cool. It's good. It also is good that we have people like Travis and the team over at Easy IT that, in a second we can just reach out and say, hey, are we okay here? What do we need to do? What does this email look like to you? Is this email legitimate?
And they add all sorts of other layers. So like where the password thing is locking the doors, they're adding sealing the windows, putting the alarm in, taking the keys from the car. Like, they're adding all that stuff. And it's non-intrusive.
Yeah.
Like, I would have worried at first, oh, this is going to be impossible. I'm never going to be able to get into anything I need. And they've actually added a new feature that I thought I'd hate, but I don't. And that is anytime I download a program onto my computer that it hasn't seen before, it goes, hey, was this really you? And I have to click a button, and then they give me access to it because they realize, they can verify that it's decent software. And that way, if they see if it's anything that's on sort of the watch out for it list, they'll call and go, hey, you don't want to download that.
Yeah.
Which, I do a lot of trading. So that's really helpful. I do a lot of DeFi. That's really helpful to know.
Yeah, especially with that. You don't want to lose passwords. You don't want to get your wallet stolen. It's,
It's so easy.
Bitcoin we just talked about earlier, up at almost 100. You don't want to lose that.
No. And you don't put anything in a separate thing. You don't put anything DeFi that you're not willing to lose anyway. That's my not financial advice.
Yeah.
But even when you put it in and it's money you wouldn't want to lose, like say you put in $1,000. Say you bought Bitcoin in 2012 and you put in $1,000 and you're like, okay, I can lose $1,000. Well, the day that $1,000 worth $100,000.
Yeah.
You're not going to be quite, even though you could have lost 1,000, it's like, oh wait, that's now $100,000. I can't lose that now.
Yeah.
So that's another interesting dilemma about only put in what you are willing to lose.
Yeah.
Once it becomes more than you're willing to lose, it's like,
what do you do?
Now what? I love it. Well, very cool. So I think, yeah, we just need to tighten things down. And I really suggest that everybody do that. We will cite this article, which I'll send you the link to, so we can put it in the comments down below, or in the show notes, because this list, you can see if your password's on this top 50 list for any of the countries, because the nice thing about hacking is it knows no borders.
This is true.
Unfortunately. So, hey, thanks for joining us today. I hope this was helpful.
A little bit different.
A little bit different. It's not about finance necessarily, but it is, right?
Yeah.
Generally, when something like this happens and there's a security breach, the thing that's going to get hit is your wallet.
Yeah.
So this is kind of in a weird way about finance. And I mostly wish you and Kaya and all of you a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Right,
thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thanks so much for watching the Cashflow Podcast with us. We want to bring more and more of this to you, so please like, share, subscribe, comment, so that we can keep bringing more of this content to you.